Hi all, this is Dr. Sage Breslin, and this is Wisdom Wednesdays, my special series on my journey with cancer. And this is video 12. So I thought something that might be useful is to give a little bit more information about what this treatment process is for me. I've had a lot of questions, a lot of people that I know and love, but who don't really understand, what my treatment is or how it's different maybe than somebody else they know. So I thought I'd just give you a little bit of insight and information about that. So one of the things that's really different about multiple myeloma, it's a rare blood cancer. And because it's a blood cancer, you can't really cut it out, right? There's no surgical solution. So for folks who have breast cancer, lung cancer, colorectal cancer, generally speaking, one of the first things that's done is to excise any sort of, amount of the cancer that can be taken out with surgery. And then people do radiation and maybe even follow up with chemotherapy. And that's different. When you have blood cancer, you can't just take out all the blood. I mean, yeah, in some weird ways, I guess that is sort of what they're attempting to do, but you can't just cut out all the bone marrow surgically, per se. So, another thing that maybe is different is that it's not localized, right? Treatment can't be localized in the same way that it can be. For instance, if you have breast cancer and they remove a cancer and then they do radiation on that area, they direct it right to the area of the breast. But with blood cancer, you've got blood flowing throughout your body, right? You've got bone marrow in every bone in your body. So it's that isn't an option. So no surgery, no radiation, and that leaves us with chemotherapy. So when I tell people that I've just started chemotherapy last night, their first image that is conjured up is me going to an infusion center, getting hooked up, and then sitting there while a bag full of poison is delivered to my body. I mean, truly, that's the image that gets conjured up for most people. So that's not wrong, but that's not how the protocol works for multiple myeloma. So the first protocol is 11 to 12 weeks long and is sort of like a starter chemotherapy, right? So it is designed to knock down as much of the cancer proteins as possible, but in a way that I can get used to it. If you can get used to something like that, right? So it is a series of medications, some which are tablets that I can take by mouth, and one that is a shot in the belly. And then a host of either medications or supplements that go with that in order to make the chemotherapy sort of available to my body and to encourage my body not to react to it in ways that which would be unpleasant or limit my function. So that first 11 to 12 weeks, when I'm doing that, I'm not hooked up to a bag. I'm taking medications by mouth, and then I'm having a shot once a week. And that I can do from home. And that's why I'm still able to come to work. And now that I've started the chemotherapy, I have to be more careful. I have to wear a mask every time I go indoors or am around other people, because, chemotherapy by nature is a poison that's designed to break down your system in order to eradicate cancer. It unfortunately also eradicates good stuff too. So it's not something that anybody would want to do unless they really had to. So I am here coming to you from my office still, which I love having a little space where I can be and I can kind of just get myself together and have my thoughts together. And I got a lot of really wonderful text messages and emails yesterday wishing me well with the start of my chemotherapy. But in as many times as I think I told people kind of how that first protocol goes, I don't think that it was clear. So a lot of people thought I was going in hospital yesterday. A lot of people were confused. How could you possibly start on a Sunday? The clinics usually aren't open until Monday. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe this is good that I just make this the tape that I share for my Wisdom Wednesday this week to really highlight, what is the situation. Once this is done, so again, 11 to 12 weeks from now, which would be like the week before Halloween, I will go through a series of tests to ensure that my body is capable of the stem cell harvest, and then a much more aggressive chemotherapy, and then eventual transplant. That'll be the time when I shave my head. So I am a firm believer that I don't prefer losing my hair in chunks. I've done that. I had a hormonal surge around the birth of one of my children, and it just kind of came off, and it was very disturbing. I have a lot of loved ones close to me who are struggling with cancer now, and and saying how awful that is to wake up with hair all over your pillow. And so I am just going to avoid that altogether and just go ahead and shave my head in the last week of October. At least that's the hope. And then I will go into an outpatient facility at my cancer center where they will harvest stem cells so that they can be cleaned and regrown as new bone marrow, basically. If all goes well with that, I will then I'll go home, and then the next day I will go into the hospital for a series of weeks where I will live and receive the kind of chemotherapy that people conjure up right in their mind, hooked up to a bag, getting a very aggressive infusion of chemotherapy in order to eradicate the remainder of the bone marrow and any remaining cancer. And if that all goes well and the tests at the end of that are good, then they will reintroduce my stem cells and regrow the bone marrow in my body. As you can imagine, that will be an uphill battle, would be for anyone to regrow all your bone marrow from scratch. And that is why when I return home, the likelihood is that much of the time I'll just be sleeping. Sleep is when we do our repair, and there will be a lot of repair to do. So that will also be a time where I have to be extraordinarily careful around other people. I won't be able to have contact with anyone who's not vaccinated, just as a start. And then probably any caregivers vaccinated or not, any friends vaccinated or not, will also have to be wearing a mask if I have a visit, because at that point I won't have any functional immune system. So I have a pretty weak immune system at this point. So I can't imagine it being like 100 times worse, but you can die from the common cold. So I have no intention of doing that. So we are all going to be immensely cautious from November on. And with any luck and great divine guidance from God and the angels, hopefully by the new year, I'll be perkier and I'll have a new body growing itself. And I will be able to create a life that is not filled with fatigue and pain and discomfort and all that stuff. So I just thought I would share a little bit about how it works, so as to diminish some of the confusion. Why are you still at home? What do you mean tablets? What does that mean that you're getting a shot in your belly every week? So that's what it means. And eventually those images you're conjuring up of chemotherapy will in fact be true. And I will be in the hospital for a period of weeks. And I will probably not be all that happy of a camper at that point in time, but that's okay. It's part of the process, and it's just discomfort. If I get a shot at a new life, I couldn't be happier. So this is your Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me by providing so much love and support. And I couldn't do it without you. I never in a billion years thought I would be able to make these videos and expose my life and my process. And it has been life-changing to do so. So thank you so much. And I look forward to speaking with you. And watch out, I've got some really cool stuff that is launching here. So for my last sort of 10 to 12 weeks at work, I'm going to give some really cool opportunities that people can take if they want a chance at working with me before I go on medical leave. So if that's you, hit me up, DM, PM, email, whatever you like. Again, thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I'll look forward to speaking with you again soon. Bye-bye.